Hi my favorites, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this is Favor Fashion House. So in today's video, you're going to be learning how I made this beautiful simple play suit with pockets. If this is what you love to watch, please stay to the end of this video. If this is your first time coming across my channel, please subscribe, share and like. Okay, so let's get straight into the video. So this is the fabric I'm going to be using. This is Ankara fabric. I used 2.5 years of fabric. So the first thing I did was, for my center front, I came in by 3 inches. I connect. This is going to be our where we're going to be putting our crotch measurements. Okay, after connecting the line, I came down by 1 inch from my shoulder line. I also connected. That is going to be our starting point, which is also our shoulder line. So after connecting the shoulder line, the next thing I did was I input my shoulder measurement divided by 2, which is 7 inches. I mark it out. Then the next 4 inches for my neck width, and for my front neck depth, what I use is 5 inches, while for the back neck depth, what I use is 1.5 inches. After doing all that, after connecting it, I came down by 1 inch from my shoulder line, so I can connect my shoulder slope to the neck line. So for my shoulder slope that I came down, I took my armhole measurement divided by 2. How to get your armhole measurement is by dividing your bust measurement by 6. Whatever you have, you add extra 1.5 inches. That is how to get your armhole, how to get accurate armhole measurements. So after that, I find the midpoint of my armhole and I connect it. So for my shoulder, I came down to 15.5 inches, which is my waistline. So also from there, I came down 24.5 inches, which is also my hip line. The full length I'm using for this play suit is 30 inches, but I added extra 2 inches for folding. But while cutting it out, I added extra 1 inch. So the total length I used for this play suit is 33 inches. Marking it out, I'm going to be reading all the whole lines. I'm going to be connecting the whole lines together. Then I'll take my vertical measurements, my bust divided by 4. Whatever I have, I'll add extra 3 inches allowance. I'll also measure my hip measurement divided by 4. Whatever I have, I'm going to be adding extra 3 inches allowance. I did not measure my waist because this is a free dress, a free play suit, so very free. Okay, if you want yours to be more freer than mine, you add more allowance to it. So after that, I measure what I have on my hip. I put it on the hem side. After I putting it on the hemming side, I added extra 1 inch allowance because I want the down part to be very free. If you want yours to be more freer than mine, all you have to do is to add more allowance to it. Connecting it, as you can see, there is nothing like hip curve because this is a free dress. So for my shoulder slope, I went in by 1 inches. Okay, because this is a sleeveless play suit. Okay, does not have sleeve, so I went in by 1 inches. Then I connect it to my armhole. From my hip line, I came down by 4 inches. Okay, then from that 4 inches that I came down, I came out by 2 inches. If you're a plus size, you should use about 2.5 to 3 inches. So I'm going to pause this video now. I'm going to explain something right here. If you are cutting yours, because after cutting my, notice that it's not as free as I want it to be. So if you are cutting yours, please add extra allowance to it. Come down to about that place I came down to 4 inches. You can come down to about 5 inches if you want it to be very free. Mine was not as free as I want it to be. So I'm going to be rolling it out, okay? So I'm going to measure 2 inches to the down part, okay? After connecting it to the hip line with a curvy way, please don't make the curve should not be too deep, okay? I'm going to come down by 2 inches, then I'll connect it. I'm measuring right here is my back neck depth. So while cutting it, as you can see, I added extra 1 inch allowance at the down parts while cutting it out, because at first I don't want it to be too short. I was scared that it's going to be too short. So, and while cutting the front side, I added ½ inch allowance for joining, because the front is going to be 2-piece here. We're going to be joining it at the front, so we need allowance to join it. So I added ½ inch allowance while cutting it at the front. And also at the neckline, I added ½ inch allowance also at the neckline, because I'm going to be turning this playsuit with a facing, or should I say with lining, with half lining, because I don't want it to have any join. I don't want to use bias for it, but you can use bias for yours if you want to, but I want mine to have a very neat finishing. So I folded my fabric again into 2. I placed the front piece on top of it. So I'm going to be cutting out the back. If you see from the center front, I gave allowance there also, because the back crotch depth is going to be deeper than the front. Okay, for the back crotch depth, what I use is 2.5 inches. For the front crotch depth, remember I used 2 inches. So for the back, I used 2.5 inches. Okay, and while connecting the back, I came out by 1 inch allowance. While connecting it now, I came out by 1 inch allowance, because I'm going to be adding zipper to the back. If I'm not going to be adding zipper, what I will just come out is ½ inch allowance, just the same way I did for the front. But because I'm going to be adding zipper, that is why I came out by 1 inch allowance. Then I'm cutting everything out. So right now I'm cutting out the front neck depth. So for my armhole, I came down by 11 inches and I notched it. That is why I'm going to be inputting my pockets. I'm cutting out the facing for the front and the back. Is a full facing, yeah, because I want it to have a very neat finishing at the end. I don't want any joining. But if your fabric is not enough, you can use bias to turn yours. So So for the back, I came down to the place where I want my zipper to get to. I notched it. Then I'm going to be stitching with the remaining 1 inch all the way down to the crotch. The same thing I did at the front. I closed it by ½ inch all the way to the crotch. So now I'm going to be cutting out the pocket for it. So I'm done joining my fabric with the lining and also stitching in my pocket and also my zipper. So next I'm going to do now is to turn the lining. So after turning the lining, I'm going to be placing the front side of the back facing the front side of the front. Then I will put the sleeve, the back sleeve, inward into the front sleeve, okay, with the lining. You can see me turning the lining upside down because I want to stitch it from inside. Okay, you can see me, I turn the lining upside like that. So I'm going to be stitching it all the way around from inside. At the end, this is how it's looking. Okay, everything is neat. So the next I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to be stitching the both side with 1 inch allowance. That is the next thing I'm going to be doing with 1 inch allowance. So after stitching it with 1 inch allowance, the next thing I did was to fold the down part, my leg side. I fold it. I fold in the first time, then I also fold in the second time. Then I stitch it. After folding it, this is what we have. Okay, the next thing remaining now is to join the two crotches together. So I'm going to be facing the crotches facing each other. I'm going to pin it down, then I'll stitch it all the way around. After that, our play suit is ready. This is how it's looking. The reason why it's still looking this rough is because there was no light at this moment for me to iron it, but it still came out very okay. So our play suit is ready. This is how it's looking. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, share and comment. Bye.